Welcome, folks, to another edition of Sports Gluttons. Hopefully, I'm heard out there because I tend to do so. Hope you can hear me. So, give me a little thumbs up if you could hear me out there. Cool, cool, cool. So that's great. We got week 14 coming up, and the league is kind of establishing itself. The teams that were good in the beginning of the year are not so great this, and there's been some turnarounds. We got some streaks going and some surprises. Got injuries which are affecting things. We got fifth string quarterbacks playing, and so um, let's see what we got. We're going to get going here, and we're going to get some guests on. And as you can see, that's you can watch Sports Gluttons, and you could join on Facebook or YouTube. You could join the chat. So welcome, and it's me and that little Sports Glutton guy up there. So I love that little logo, dude. And you can't see it there. If you could see it on the big picture, he's got a what has he got? He's got a ice skate on his foot. So we had some ice skating incidences this week with some wild hits, which were pretty tough. Some people getting hurt. Sports has become a pretty brutal thing. I'll bring on. We have a guest waiting from Chicago, which have the well, not the Bears, but in the NHL, have the Blackhawks won recently? We're going to bring on Mr. Jeff from there he is out in Chicago, taking a break from his volleyball game.
Yeah, I got the night off. I did that on Monday, the travel dad. So it's nice to have a night off.
You do, huh?
Yeah, the wife did the driving tonight. So it's me and the dogs and Sports Gluttons.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. So it's nice to have a night home after getting home late from that Blackhawks Rangers debacle last night.
Did you go to it?
I was there.
Oh, you saw the hit live.
Oh yeah.
Was it as loud as a the guy looked like he led with his helmet and his shoulder. It was pretty brutal.
I guess I've watched that video so many times. It looks like his elbow.
You want to hear about the videos? Want to hear about the videos I watch a lot?
No, yeah. Okay. It looks like the elbow got under the chin. And while it wasn't, again, under today's NHL illegal, it doesn't mean it's a good hit. And you and I have talked about this off air.
Mm-hmm.
Initially, I didn't think the hit was illegal until I started reading some of the rules on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a little back and forth with a couple Ranger fans on a Bleacher Nation site. And I said, look, I'm not looking for an argument, but I said, Look at the rule. The rule says you've got to make an attempt to go for the puck. He made no attempt to go for the puck. In fact, I just saw a highlight on the game I'm watching right now in which the same guy, Jacob Trouba, did the same thing to another guy tonight. The guy didn't get knocked out, but he did the same kind of hit. So while it may not be illegal to hit a guy whose head is down, and they tell you keep your head on a swivel, I get it.
Right.
But does that mean it's the right thing to do? And
I don't understand these players. I don't get it with, they talk about injuries and that looked like he knew he was going to hurt the guy. I mean, that was an open ice hit. It wasn't, almost like a boarding in the middle of the ice. And I don't get it. I just don't understand why they play so brutal. It's like they must not know each other, those two guys, because you're not going to
play each other. No,
and it's just, and that there's a potential for injury to do that. So I don't understand. I wish I had the Twitter to show it. Maybe I'll get it when I have other guests, and I'll look for it. So like in football, these guys go in, they know about the injuries, they know about this stuff, and they just it was brutal. It was and unnecessary, and I don't understand it. I don't
Right.
understand. I mean, I don't understand when they get angry, and we've seen people swing
Yeah.
sticks at the helmets, and
There was none of that. There was nothing premeditated about that hit. He came up to him and he gave him a solid open ice check. But
right,
again, just because it's legal to do it doesn't mean you should be doing it.
right, right. The
And
puck went to the puck went between his legs. It came
and he
through. It
was
was
looking
a
to dish
pass.
it out.
It was looking. I disagree with somebody that they said always keep your eyes up. I mean, no, you don't always keep your eyes up. You gotta see the puck sometimes. If it's down, you're looking for the puck. That's and that's what he was doing. He was looking for the puck, and the guy just came in, and it wasn't even a good check. It was like a shoulder. It was a deliberate way to knock the guy down.
Mhm.
You know.
Right. And if you want to think about a sport that you know better than I, let's
Hmm.
look at football.
Hmm.
How many rules are there to protect the quarterback? Right? Just because you can nail the quarterback, just
Right.
because you can nail the punter,
Right.
doesn't mean you should. So
Right.
they come up with all these rules so we can reduce the amount of concussions in sports.
Right.
And the guy who gets trained on it every year, it is amazing to me how easy it is to get a concussion and how much a lack of seriousness
Right.
the NHL takes this entire thing.
I would have, if I saw that, I would have suspended the guy. And talking
Mhm.
about quarterback protecting quarterbacks, there was a play. I don't know if it was a college play. I think it was a college play where the quarterback went back and he came up and he faked the slide as if how when they slide, you don't touch the guy. He's down,
Mhm.
and he faked the slide, and then he kept going. And I think that's just a disrespectful way to play the game. Like if you expect to be treated respectfully, and if you look like you want to be safe and you're going to go down, they're not going to touch you. You got to go down. You can't fake guys out, because then they don't know what you're going to do.
Right.
If I'm a player and I don't know what you're going to do, I'm going to hit you, because if you're going to fake me out, which is not cool, because now it's like the boy that cried wolf type of thing. You already faked this out once. How do I know you're going to fake us out again and go for the run? I just think if you're going to play that, play it respectfully. Play the slide. You're going to slide, go slide. So it's just talking about the protecting, and so we got some more guests that are on. We got let's bring them on real fast so we can do this. We got Mr. Rick's Picks coming on. I want to see how many people I could fit on here. We
Hey,
got
what's up?
Mr. JMS,
What's
and then we
up?
got Julio coming on. So I'm going to pull myself off for a second. And let's see. Rick, why don't you give a little review? I wrote down your picks from last week, but I think you went with two and then you gave a bonus. But
I did.
how did you do last?
Actually, very, very good. We laid the big number with the Rams, and Julio remembers that because he was scared. He was like, "No, I don't know about it." I was like, "This is a get well game." Jacksonville I think we could all agree, they just have not shown anybody anything, not enough to stay with good teams, anyways. And the Rams were a little sore, and they needed that. So that was kind of simple. And another one that came pretty easy was the Chiefs and the under 47. A real defensive battle. I used to be scared to take the Chiefs in anything under, but this year's different, and I'm going with the trends, and they're not scoring a lot of points. People have learned to kind of play that shell two on them.
I
And
got to see
when
the Jaguars. For them to like, you could have a Las Vegas thing. Are they going to score a touchdown in a game? They are such a bad team. The Jaguars.
they're
They
bad.
are. What are they have 3 touchdowns in their last 4 games, and they're 0-5 on the road. They're at Tennessee this week. And I'm not such a fan of Tennessee, but against the Jaguars, even though Tennessee lost 2 in a row, they won 6 before that, including the Jaguars. They killed them by 22, by 18, 37-19. Jaguars are just such a bad team.
Yeah, that Tennessee game, it's a little scary to lay. It's an 8.5 point spread. I mean, they're without, their best wide receiver. They don't have, obviously, Derrick Henry. So it's not the same team. It's just not the same team.
Mm-mm.
But maybe a team that's still good enough to beat Jacksonville. It's kind of a stay away game for me. But and the other winner I had, you asked me for a bonus one, and I went with the Chargers over in their game against the Bengals because I just kind of figured it would be a little bit like it went, just kind of crazy. Two teams that are really hard to predict, except they usually have good offensive weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And they're kind of mirrors of each other, really unpredictable. You don't know what team you're going to get because I've seen the Bengals play like world beaters, and but you don't know what you're going to get with them, and they're just a weird team. And the Chargers, same thing. You don't know what you're going to get from week to week. They have a great quarterback. Both teams have really good young quarterbacks. I think the future's bright for both those players.
I was surprised. I thought an over was good, but I took Cincinnati. I thought Cincinnati was going to take that.
Yeah, you
game,
did.
And
a lot of people did. A lot of people did.
That killed me. They didn't even come. They didn't even come out early.
No.
Julio, you're like Mr. LA, Chargers, Rams. As long as there's an LA in front of the team, you're like, you got your pennant out.
But I did take Cincy in that game. If Mr. Chase makes that grab, I believe it was in the.
Good point.
If he makes that grab, we're talking a whole different ball game, man. Chase has been, he's been great when he catches them, but when he drops them, he drops them. So that was definitely a touchdown. That was a touchdown.
Yeah, so that's the thing. That's the thing. Like that play and that scoop and score. My head was in my lap. I was about to hear. At any moment, I felt the Bengals were going to slap them down and take that game from them. It was right there. And they were coming back, and the Chargers were doing what they do and just kind of looked like not the team in the first quarter. And there you go. It was like that scoop and score changed everything.
Yeah, and you guys had a few fumbles as well. So
that's right. That's right. Eckler was pretty bad. He was pretty bad.
That could have gone either way, man.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. They gave the ball away, I think, 4 times. So to get a win on the road with that many turnovers, yeah, I guess that was a lucky win, but it helped. That's why I didn't want to take a side. I just went with a kind of a crazy high scoring game.
Cincinnati, their offense, like I felt bad for Burrows. He throws a pass to the guy who like tosses it to the other team. He had the ball and he's like, he gets it. He just, here you go. You could have it. It was a bad interception. And then a fumble that was a bit, he just had no shot. He played a decent game, Burrows, and his team just gave things away, sadly. And, it wasn't a good reflection of them at all. But now you go, okay, Cincinnati, what do they got? They got they got San Francisco coming up this week. I mean, that's a tough pick because the 49ers have got some problems. Garoppolo doesn't look so great. And, they had, what did he do? The last play of the game, he threw, it was 23-20. He's down in the red zone, and it's the last play of the game. He throws a pass. It's deflected by a lineman.
Yeah.
And how do you, and I don't know, I'm not a quarterback, but I'm thinking you got to know these guys are right there. So you got to be careful on what you're throwing. Some of these play callings is just brutal.
Yeah. I don't know about you guys. I think Cincinnati wins that game.
I picked Cincy as well.
So did I. Yeah.
John, what do you think?
I think they bounce back. I think I just don't really have my full faith in the 49ers quite yet. I mean, if you look at their last couple games, other than the Rams, which if I remember that game correctly, I don't think they even really showed up. They haven't beaten any like teams
Right.
that I've been impressed with. So since he's the better team, and I think after a tough loss against the Chargers, they come back and win that game.
Oh, okay. And they're playing in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So that's
Plus, I think San Francisco's without Mitchell, their running back, their starter.
Yeah.
I think they're going back to their third string, Jermichael Hasty, because Jeff Wilson, who was supposed to be the starter and had to wait 10 weeks to play, I was reading his knee is flared up already from his surgically repaired knee, so he's out. So they're down to a third string running back. If Debo plays, he'll just handle that. He'll handle the runs. And man, that guy, wow. I mean, I wish I put him on my fantasy team. He's dominating. Wow.
oh,
And Kittle's finally showed up this past
Finally,
week.
yeah.
He did.
He was a beast. But going back to Garoppolo, why aren't more quarterbacks pump faking like Big Ben does? Pump fake the lineman and then throw the pass. I don't get it. Todd, you mentioned it. He just pretty much threw it into the offense, to the defensive line.
right. And to last play of the game. What kind of call is that to do that? So
Pump fake these guys. Just give them a fake and then throw it deep.
yeah. And let me see something if I could do this. I don't know who joined. Let's see if I got this. But if you haven't joined, let's see if I could do this. There we go. The CBS Sports Gluttons football pool. It's a no money pool. It's for fun. And you could just pick straight up teams. There's an odds one. I didn't go with that. And so it's just a fun pool. And if, keep track of picks and that's about it. It was just, I figured, I'll throw that in there if anyone wants to join. So
I joined.
Me too.
So did I. Yeah.
yeah,
We'll
good.
see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. I don't know, when it comes to no spread, sometimes it feels harder. I don't know what the deal is with that. It shouldn't.
Oh, you do? That's funny because I
weird,
I
right?
think it's
It
like
is weird.
easier with no spread.
Well, it's supposed to be easier. Yeah, of course.
Right.
Yeah, some games are easier. Like, you could look at Green Bay, Chicago, like a no spread. Of course, you'd be crazy to back Chicago with no spread.
Right. Right.
I mean,
You're
Right.
crazy.
What is this? What is
Chicago, no matter what.
yeah,
what is this? What is the spread on that one? Chicago's playing Tampa Bay to play in
12.5.
Green Bay, right?
Oof.
I got it at
Yeah.
12.5 right now.
And they're
12.5.
aren't they back to Andy Dalton at quarterback?
No,
Yeah,
it's
he's
just
horrible.
Field.
That
Yeah, he's
guy
a
is
good
horrible.
quarterback.
Field's going to be playing, but I think he'll be heavily taped up. But the word in
Oh.
Chicago is he's going to be getting the reins.
But wasn't
No.
Fields pretty terrible when he played?
I got to be honest. I've watched him play when I haven't been falling asleep during their games. That's how bad they are. Where I nap in the second half because they're so bad. But when I actually have been awake to watch it, Justin Fields has an amazing arm, great vision for the field. He is going to be the quarterback that the Bears have not had in a long time. Is he there yet? No. Look how young he is. How can anybody expect him to be there? Even Aaron Rodgers sat on the bench for a couple years and waited. Pat Mahomes waited at least a year or more. So I think anything positive you get is good. Andy Dalton, somebody made a comment about him recently and said, Andy Dalton should not be a quarterback because he smiles too much for a guy who
I think I maybe said that. I was like, that
Did you
guy
say
is.
that?
Yeah, he smirks. He throws a bad pass and he starts laughing.
Yeah,
and
he's too happy.
he doesn't take it
I totally
seriously.
agree.
And the thing about Justin Fields, there's two ways I look at him because the Chicago Bears offensive line is so bad.
Oh, they're
that-
non-existent. They're horrible.
So you got a young guy who doesn't know if he's going to get a chance to throw the ball, and then sometimes he throws the ball like a high school player and doesn't even reach that. We got some more guests I'm going to bring on. We got Casey and we got Remy joining us, and and let me throw this one in there. Oh, I didn't throw that one in there. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm glad we got them in. We got them in. And
Casey, what you said that you joined the pool pick and you're 0-1 already. What was it? The Bills game or which?
Yeah,
What?
I picked
Okay.
I picked the wrong team, but I picked the right score, unfortunately.
What a crazy game.
Oh,
One of my
Bills Patriots.
Yeah.
That was.
A comment I would make there is, why did they wait so late to have the quarterback, suddenly I'm spacing his name, run the ball? Allen, why did they wait so long to have Josh Allen use his legs? I mean, it wasn't until really like the maybe late third quarter that they started having him run.
Yeah, you're right about that. He only had 39 yards. It was driving me crazy. It was the only play that worked. Him running.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing this year. They're just messing up what they had last year, and they're not being consistent. I don't get it. They have the same team, the same guys. No one's really hurt, and they're so 1 week good, 1 week bad. I mean, they're just so inconsistent. So they just blew their division. They blew their division. That's going to New England now. They're going to win it. And
Yeah, I think like the whole league
Belichick's
is
a
like,
god. Bill Belichick is a god.
The whole league,
no,
but
it is.
you know, and New England, what was a 14-10? It's not like they dominated. It's the Bills had a chance to score, and they just didn't. And so you
Todd,
can't.
The Patriots, I believe, ran the ball 46 times. They only threw 3 passes.
Right. And it was 1 early and then 2. But, you know, I got to question some of the runs. Like, I don't know if he was playing a game or what was going on, because he was like 3rd and 17 at one point, and he runs the ball. And I'm like, I didn't get that. I didn't get the strategy on that. You know, I think he wanted to run out the clock. Like, he just kept the clock going. But when you're 3rd and 17, you know you're not going to run. You're not going to get lucky and get 20 yards. Why? So that I just questioned. I didn't understand, unless he was really afraid of throwing interceptions in the cold weather. That's the only
It was
thing.
the weather, yeah.
You know, I could imagine. But Buffalo just is sinking. They're sinking.
Well, wait till they beat the Patriots. You're going to say, wow, Buffalo's back. That's my call. I think they're going to beat the Patriots.
Buffalo, they play the Patriots again in 3 games from now.
They're going to beat Tampa Bay in Tampa. That's my call.
Wow.
That's an upset call of the week.
I'm going
That
for
is
it.
I'll go with that,
upset.
Rick. I like your pick, Rick.
You like? I think I'm going for it.
What's the spread on that?
Anytime. Yeah, what's the spread on that?
It is
You
low.
know, whenever Remy picks something, I get afraid because she's always right.
You want my hot
Weird one.
take?
She's
Here's my
always
hot
right.
take. Here's
Wait
my
a
hot
minute.
take. Here's my hot take. Green Bay doesn't lose another game this year.
Oh,
Man. That is
wow.
So they just run the gamut through to the Super Bowl.
Well, wait. But
Man.
let's see how big her risk is. Let's look at their opponents. Right? Do you know them?
They got Bears this week, and then
Right.
they have
that's not
they
an
have
opponent.
they
That's
have
the Ravens?
Arizona. No, they have the Ravens. That might be a hard one.
Yeah.
They have
Browns.
Minnesota again, and
The
Detroit.
Browns.
Right?
Cleveland
right?
and Detroit.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you know,
they'll
it's,
go 5-0 then.
Baltimore's got the best shot at beating them.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought she was talking about they're not going to lose another game and then run it all the way through the playoffs. To
I
be the
am.
champ. Oh, you are,
I
right?
don't think they're going to go that
Ooh, I don't know,
that
man.
extent. You're
That's
going
a-
to
that's
Get off the Tom Brady train. I'm so over it already. He's had his
Gisele's
due.
been off the
He's
Tom
been
Brady
playing
train,
throw
too.
footballs with his daughter, Vi. Let them throw footballs, and he needs to him his attitude. I can't believe I only beat the Giants by 20. Only scored 20 against the Giants. You know what, Tom Brady, go bite one, because if it was me,
Yeah,
you wouldn't have beat us by 20.
I think
Well,
Mr. Avocado Shakes needs to retire already. I'm done with him.
So go back to the Ravens a second. So the Ravens, looking at it, they haven't scored more than 20 points in the last
Right.
4 games. They
Well-
scored. They lost to Baltimore, scoring. They lost to a game. They scored 10. Then they won 2 games with 16 points, 16-13 against Chicago, 16-10 against Cleveland, and lost to Vegas 19-20. And I don't know who thinks that last call on the 2-point. They were down 2019 against the Raiders, who you should think you're a better team than. Why do you go for the 2 extra
mean the
points
Steelers?
instead of tying the game and battling them? You're the better. You should be the better team than the Raiders. I don't know. What do you guys think? You think anybody that should have? What do you think they should have done? I thought it was a terrible call.
I would have gone with the 1-point conversion.
Absolutely.
I think he went with the conventional wisdom that you go for the win on the road and go for the tie at home. But I agree with you. You have enough talent that you should be able to go against the Steelers in an overtime and make it happen. I think I don't think you're playing the right odds because you're the better team. You have the more talent, I think. I didn't like it.
But they're mostly hurt. He has no running backs. He's hurt. I mean, they're not the team they're supposed to be. They're missing almost half their team. And Lamar is hurt too. I mean, Lamar is not 100% either, I don't think. I don't think they're telling us all of what's going on, but I don't think he's 100% either. But that division, to me, they're the toughest division. Like, those guys beat each other up so much, and it's just, you never know with that division. And you can't let Ben and JJ Watt and Watt have that, not JJ, whatever, TJ have that much. Can't give it back in their hands. You just can't trust Roethlisberger's not going to blow it up all of a sudden and throw a bomb and the game's over.
Your point's good, Remy, because when I read some of the recaps on it, the coach even said, like, his defense was hurt too. Like, he just lost their best defensive back. I forget his name, but he was out. I think Marlon Humphreys, I believe. So he was out. Some other defenders were out. So he was just like trying to get to the finish line. And truthfully, knowing what he knew, the right play was called. The good pass, that wins the game.
And they've played this way all season long. I mean, what was it when they went when they went on 4th down on what was that crazy play to win against the Chargers, I think, was it? Or so they're playing this type of football, and for this, I mean, those rivalries, like you were saying, Remy, what a win that would have been. Imagine if they won, we would have been talking the opposite way of like, wow, what a great call, gutsy call. Right?
I still, I would have said no, it's a bad call. I said, you know what, you got lucky. You shouldn't have done that.
They were playing them tough. Like, honestly, if they go to overtime, I don't know they would have won that game. Yeah. The Steelers are a bad team.
I think gambling like that on the road is a good call. Yeah. You don't get down to the goal line with a chance to win very often. You're hurt in overtime. Your quarterback's hurt. I think it's a good call. I mean, the pass, if you saw the play, the guy, I mean, that tight end is money, and he was open. 3 inches.
It was off his fingertips.
3 inches. It's a 2-point conversion, and it goes to show you. I think Lamar. I mean, maybe if he was feeling good, he probably would have been a better pass. So they got a tough game. Well, so now I'm off the Cleveland train, so I don't see Cleveland. I was on it, and early in the season, I thought they were good, but I'm off that train. I don't see them beating Baltimore. I don't know about you guys.
Cleveland?
I think they do. I think they do. I think their running game knows that. Their defense is hurt. I think their running game tears it up. I think they win. They've had a bye week. Baker got a little healthier. That's me.
That's why I'm off
on that. But
I have Cleveland taking Baltimore, and I don't think they have I think they have a good defense, and
but they have Baker.
And despite what I said,
7 games this season,
I use that as a negative. That's a negative.
7 games they've held their opponents under 20 points. So
one of the things with Lamar Jackson, the book seems to be, is make him beat you with his arm. That's what I've seen in the last, I'd say, 3 or 4 weeks at least. It's just they're going to try, and their running game is not as strong, of course, because they have at least 2 running backs, 3 gone for the season. I lost count.
It was 2 early, yeah.
If you make Lamar try and beat you with his arm, he just can't do it. I haven't seen any evidence of that yet this season.
Well, you know what, Casey? He was doing it at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I think right.
But I think some of these injuries are just catching up to him.
Now, I've never been a fan of his arm, to be honest. He has a weird throwing motion, and his accuracy is not. I think he's a superior athlete to almost any of the quarterbacks in the league, bar a few. But his accuracy, to me, just leaves something to be desired.
It's not a tight spiral. Yeah, it's not a tight spiral.
Who do you think is better, him or Michael Vick? when Vic played?
Oh, Michael
Oh,
Vick
Michael
had a
Vick.
stronger arm,
Michael
man.
Vick.
All day.
He
That
had
guy
a
was
cannon,
Yeah.
tight
Michael
spiral.
Vick was money. Yeah, he was really good.
He was. I mean, if it wasn't for the dogs, there'd
Wasn't
be
for
some
the-
records to be broken.
Yeah, we'll let the dogs out, right?
Yeah, he did.
Well,
apparently.
we got Tim
Oh.
joining us. Tim from in Arizona. So hey, Tim.
Hey,
But you
Tim.
know whose arm I like and will look good in Giants blue is Russell Wilson.
Right. So
Thinking that he's going to be a Giant next year.
yeah. So
Hey,
Remy, let's move on to the Giants real fast. Giants
Let's
Chargers.
not.
The Giants haven't scored last 3 games. Have scored 9, 13, and 10.
We have Mike
And,
Glenn on. We've got Mike Glenn on. This is his 4th team in 4 years.
Oh,
I mean,
he's awful. He's
and
not
how we
even-
got rid? Why we got rid of Colt McCoy? I don't understand.
Yeah,
If
I
we would
don't- I
have
didn't
Colt McCoy as our
understand.
backup, we'd have some wins.
Yeah.
He did what he
Giants
had to do
awful
for
in Chicago.
Arizona. That's what
But Colt
backups do.
McCoy he's in the right system in Arizona. That's why.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm
the
just,
Giants might be lucky if you guys don't know. The Chargers have 9 guys with COVID, including Keenan Allen and Mike Williams.
I
Are
saw
they going to
that.
play? Can they play?
I don't think so. So
I mean,
they're-
no. Do they have enough players to play?
Yeah, they got enough to play, but the Giants are catching them with a couple of weapons out for sure.
And I
Well,
thought I heard, like,
so who are the big guys that are out for the Chargers then?
I
Aside from
just said
within the 9.
Keenan Allen,
That's a big one.
Mike Williams.
The 2 best
They're winning 2
receivers.
shots. So
and last I heard, Glennon wasn't playing, or did that change today? I heard they were on their third string quarterback. is the
Oh, I
last I
didn't- I
heard.
haven't
Yeah,
seen
I
that.
thought
I
he had a
Did it?
concussion.
I
saw
heard they
his-
signed
I saw
somebody
his
from a
name
practice
and I
squad.
just ignored it. I just saw his name and ignored it. I'm like,
I
I
think
guess
that
the Giants
anybody
can't
over Mike
score,
Glenn
so I
is
don't know if that
They
matters.
signed the
Maybe-
quarterback off of.
They just can't score.
yeah, you might. Well, you know what? I'll be honest with you. I will not be taking the Chargers against the point spread in that game. I'm a little worried about Saquon Barkley and the running game of the Giants just really keeping the score low, running the ball at the Chargers who can't stop the run. They got a shot. Without
yeah.
those players,
I
they
think
have
it's
a shot.
Saquon has got to show up. He's got to. He does. There's no quarterback. He's got to prove and keep his job. He's got to do something this
Yeah.
week.
Apparently,
He can't
though,
be
if you
running
watch
4 and
the
5.
Giants, they have no blocking.
They haven't had
They have
a
no
line
blocking. Not
since I
even-
was born. I can't
not
even remember the
Saquon's
last time they had
fault.
a line.
Since
I mean, it's
Parcells was there.
ridiculous.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
no,
don't think
since
it's
they
all
got no,
Saquon's
since they
fault.
lost, since our last Super Bowl, we just
Against the
they're
Patriots.
just pathetic. I mean, their draft this year, Giants and Jets got the top. It's going to be Jets, Giants, Giants picking in the top 10 the whole day, the whole hour. The first hour is going to be just New York picking players. It's going to be ridiculous.
I think
No.
Houston has something to say about it.
Now, Remy,
Well, yeah,
I think you made yourself clear on this before, but do you think they should just blow it up in New York?
They blow it up. Well, Gettleman's done, which I don't
He
know.
needs to go.
Yeah, I think maybe Judge might be over his head, and I don't know what happened to the I mean, the Roonies. They're like this big team whatever. They got their granddaughter making movies. She should be running the team, I guess. I don't know what's going
Not
on.
a bad actress either.
No, she's really great. She's got a new movie coming out Christmas.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hey, I'll just become her fan and stop watching the Giants I mean, they've always been decent. They've had bad years, but they've never been this bad for this long. And it's a mockery to New York and New York sports. And it's a shame. But yeah, they need to get rid of everybody. They need. I will take Russell Wilson over any. There's no new quarterbacks coming out that I see that I'm impressed with.
Kenny
I mean, some
Pickett?
guy. Yeah, he might. Yeah. Yeah, we'll ruin him. I don't know. We don't have an O line. I don't understand how we can't get
Mike
an O line.
Glennon, really? Why is Mike Glennon in the league? Answer that question.
Because somebody needs a backup
Don't think
somewhere.
there's anybody better. I mean, come on, look at all the guys who, not to get into the political side, but look at all the guys who came in to play quarterback when
They
Cap
said if
was backlist. All right, so you had all these absolutely awful quarterbacks who had no business being in football, and yet they were being passed over for this guy. They'll pick a 90-year-old man off of the IR list,
And the
to play quarterback nowadays. So,
Guys, I have to run. I just wanted to stop and say hi. I'll see you next week.
Good to see
I
you,
joined the
Ram.
pool too, so see if I win something.
Good.
I
Good.
bye,
Bye.
Remy.
Good luck.
See you, Remy.
Good luck to all your teams. Unless you're playing the
Yeah,
Giants, you don't need any luck.
Archers always need luck.
Hey, Jeff.
And he's like
So hold on one second. So we were talking earlier about a bad hit in hockey. We're going to take a little hockey turn here, and let's see what you guys think on the legality of it. Happened. What was it, last night?
this was last night. I was actually at the game, and Jujhar Khaira was coming up the ice. The pass was
done anything though since his injury,
and Jacob Trouba basically gave him an elbow to the chin while his head was down. So the league, it technically is a legal hit, but the question is, should the hit have happened to begin with? Should these type of hits even be legal, knowing you're trying and you need to try to get concussions out of there? They went out at 8 o'clock, but you're welcome to. Sorry, family thing. So I have changed my mind from, it's legal, but it doesn't mean it's good. And if you're really trying to protect an athlete's head, there was no reason for him to do what he did, because he didn't even go for the puck. He was nothing more than interfering with his movement up the ice.
Yeah, they didn't seem to keep showing it. This is from the game, so we don't see the highlight.
You can, it's all over. I mean, seriously, you can go to Ranger sites, go to Bleacher Report, and you'll find it there. And then Trouba gets in trouble today playing. He did something similar where he got another guy whose head was down and nailed him. So what does that say? Is he trying to headhunt? Is he trying to be overly physical? Is he trying to prove his contract? I don't know. But the guy does it 2 straight nights. There's a problem.
Yeah, I just thought it was a bad, we talked about it, just a bad, and, athletes just going too far, like not really caring about what's going on. So we have a Jared in now, and Jared had his Vikings, and I think Jared's a fan of Kirk Cousins.
Well,
but I was watching that game. I don't know.
Let me tell you like this. I think the last couple of years he's had some great games, and I think he's had mostly great games throughout the last couple of years. I don't really think the debacle, which is the Vikings definitely last year, this year, really has anything to do with Kirk Cousins, because it doesn't. The truth is, it's don't get me wrong, he's not like perfect, and he made a couple of bad passes, and I'm not I am not going to say he's got gifts to throwing the football, but I certainly think that he's a decent quarterback, and he's going to not always lose you games, and everybody's entitled to have one bad game or two, but this is on Mike Zimmer, and I don't think he's very long for the coaching job anymore. He hangs his hat on being a defensive specialist. Last year, I gave him the benefit of the doubt because it's COVID, and we missed Michael Pierce was out with COVID, didn't want to play with COVID. We lost Danielle Hunter. We had a lot of injuries with Barr and whatnot in that defense. So I gave him the benefit of the doubt. This year we were reloaded, and it's the same story. Especially the last 2 minutes of the ball game is where we give up the game. Even with all that being said, we had the opportunity to win like we do every single week, it feels like. And then the defense gives up a 2-minute, touchdown to Jared Goff of all people. So anyway, the frustration is certainly mounted, higher than it's been all year long. I'm still rooting for us. I feel we still have a chance. We get in the playoffs. We got the Steelers. I'm not high. My hopes aren't high. You're a Steelers guy. Well, we're in Minnesota, so I think I like our chances there. So we'll see what happens. But I'm not giving up, man. This is the brutal part about being a Vikings fan. Time to
That's
go.
going to be a really good game. That's a hard game to predict. The Pittsburgh. Vikings.
That's a tough
That's a
one.
hard one to predict.
That's a tough one because Minnesota. I mean, they lost to Detroit. You know, so not sure. You know, their play calling is just a mess. It just they're not. Their play calling. They had little short passes. They had bad call. I'm just not a fan of Minnesota at all. And Pittsburgh, though, where are they playing that game?
Minnesota.
They're playing in Minnesota. You know,
Plus, didn't Thielen get hurt, Jared, towards the end of the game?
got hurt, which is a double whammy because I got him on my fantasy team and I'm trying to get into the playoffs here.
Yeah.
But yeah, Thielen got hurt, which certainly limited our offense a lot. You could see how big Thielen really is in terms of spreading out the offense. Obviously, Dalvin Cook was hurt that game, but Madison is certainly a pretty suitable backup for sure. And so I had no problem with that. But being able to spread out the offense with Thielen there is what was hurting us. Certainly didn't hurt Jefferson's game. He still had 160-plus yards or something to that effect. But it hurt the Vikings game in terms of being able to move the ball. But again, we had a 5-point lead with 2 minutes left. And you give up the touchdown to Goff and the Lions. So anyway.
Right, that they scored way too many points. Detroit. It just was a bad showing for Minnesota.
I think Minnesota has the best wide receiver in the league in Jefferson.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's right there, top 1, 2, 3. If you had to name people, he cannot be out of the conversation. That dude is pretty much unguardable.
Yeah,
I think it's between him and Cooper Kupp, in my opinion.
Definitely,
Him and
they
Cooper
should
Kupp.
put Kupp's in the conversation.
So the Lions play the Broncos, and we had Casey did a little thing on the. I hope this shows up on the Broncos.
I will admit that I have not seen much of Teddy Bridgewater as a starting quarterback in the NFL, seeing him mainly as a backup. But in the Chiefs game this week, I was struck by his body language. He seemed very disengaged. And I'm not just talking about in the latter part of the game when anyone would have been frustrated with their play. But even in the early stages, he just didn't seem like he was leading or inspiring his team. And let's face it, he's not so talented that he can get by on just his skills. It will be very interesting to see what Denver does next year with such a talented roster, but such a limited quarterback.
So,
real good take.
So Denver is playing Detroit. Well, Casey, do you have a prediction on this one?
This is the first I've thought about it. Oh Lord, where are they, in Denver or in Detroit?
In Denver.
I could see them doing a get right game. There's nothing worse than a team that gets a little bit embarrassed. They especially at home, and they have such talent. They have a great defense. It's just which Bridgewater is going to show up. And one last thing on Bridgewater, I noticed he has the skinniest legs I've ever seen on a quarterback. There was just something odd when I watched him, and they kind of showed him from the knees down, and he's got some spindly legs.
Well, I will say this. I know Teddy pretty well because we drafted him. And the truth is, first couple of years, he as a rookie, and he got us to the playoffs. He was suitable. He was doing okay. I had high hopes for him. Two Glove, I had the nickname for him and everything. So, I had high hopes for him, but he had speaking of his legs, he had that seriously brutal injury.
Sorry, Jared. Sorry, guys. I got to go. I apologize. I got to go. Thank you, everyone. Have a good one.
Julio, take care, buddy.
Take care, everyone.
Julio, make those picks.
I will. Thank you. Take care, guys.
Okay, Julio.
So, but anyway, he had that brutal
rushing
injury
off.
to
He
his
had like
leg.
an emergency call or something.
I'm not sure if it was atrophy or what, but that might play a little part into the skinny legs. If not, he's just missed a lot of leg days at the gym.
For who? Who are you talking about?
For Two Gloves, Teddy Bridgewater.
Oh, got you for Denver.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for him, he had another one of those interception moments where he kind of did a Olay on the returning defender, because I think he had one earlier in the season, and I don't blame him for not getting his nose in there. But boy, twice in one season on tape to be looking like you're just kind of giving up on the interception, it's not a great look, even though I understand the business decision.
Well, Casey, I'd agree with you, by the way, in terms of being a backup. And I think there's some players that are great back. Like I think Keenum is a good backup. I think that's like his perfect role for. What's his name? Fitzpatrick, great backup to have if you have. I mean, but in terms of being a leader of a team and a leader of men in a starting position, I don't really see that taking a role, but I think a lot of that could have been stunted in that injury. For him to even be back in the NFL is kind of admirable already. And he did have a hell of a season when he backed up Breeze when he came back from New Orleans the other year. So
I was excited to see Fitzpatrick be the starter for the WTFs, but that injury early on, I was really excited about. I think Fitzpatrick proved that he can be a starter. Well, at least I know as a fantasy player, he's a great fantasy quarterback.
Right.
He's a stat hog, and that's sometimes that's all we care about. But I do believe Taylor Heineke. A lot of people don't like him. I've seen a lot of good things in Taylor Heineke.
Yeah.
In fact, I like the game. I'm going to go with the football team in an upset at home against the Cowboys.
Is it 4 points on that one?
It is 4 points. I'm gonna go with the close 3-point game. I'm gonna go with it. I think in our pool, I'm gonna take Washington straight up in the Sports Gluttons pool just because.
That could be. That could be.
Yeah.
Washington scored 17 points in each of the last 2 games. Unless I have that wrong. Did they win both games 17-15? Did I be wrong on that? Maybe
Yeah, they won it exactly.
That's unbelievable, and it's only scored and 2 kind of mediocre teams. So, and Dallas, 2-3 in the last 5 after 6 wins.
Yeah.
So, what happened to them? They are not. They lost to the Chiefs and
but I could definitely see Washington winning that game. I mean, for one, it's a interconference game, interdivision game there, and they always play each other tough. I don't care if it's the Giants. I mean, you never know with that division. I mean, it is the NFC least, as they say. So
right,
who knows what the hell's going to happen?
Right. And well, Casey got she had a little Washington thing here. Let's see what goes on here.
What to make of the NFL team without a name, aka the Washington football team? Their quarterback, small of stature, not a great arm, can't really drive the football down the field. But so gutty. He throws a late game interception that could have been the end for them. Instead, he comes back and leads them down the field for a game-winning field goal. And that defense, what team would want to see that defense in the playoffs? And at running back, very unheralded, is Antonio Gibson. He is just productive beyond all get out. I would love to see what they could do with a real quality starter at the helm next year.
Why didn't you reply to me?
So there we go. It's why maybe Washington takes that game.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. It'd be a tough game. Gibson is really good, but Casey, watching Washington a lot this year, they don't when they love to use McKissick, and I don't understand. I know McKissick's not bad, but Gibson is the man, and they should keep him on the field more. It just drives me crazy.
I think sometimes the coaches, they just feel like they have two running backs and they have to use them. They just feel like they want this change up and having the guy fresh all the time, which I understand at one level, but boy, when you just look at the Cowboys, the way they keep feeding it to Ezekiel Elliott, and he just, since week 3, he hasn't done much at all. So I don't know what to make of, the 2 running back system when sometimes you feel like you just got to give a guy carries. And like you said, when you should be sometimes riding the hot hand.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well,
and Washington, they won their last 4. They're on a 4-game win streak just after losing 4 in a row. But within the win streak, they beat Tampa Bay. So maybe, and they're playing Dallas at home. Maybe, and it's a rivalry. Maybe they're going to take this one.
Right. Guys, I hate to do this and be short-lived because I know I just popped on a few minutes ago, but I got to figure out here.
Same.
Glad you made it.
I'm hungry.
Glad you made it. We're gonna. We'll see.
I gotta get logged on to the CBS thing. I'm having an issue with that. Apparently, I've done it before and forgot my password. So I'll get on it though and make sure I get my picks in time. And meanwhile, I'm pretty sure you guys all know where I'm going with tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
No.
I think you made it clear.
All right, guys. Well, hey, you have a great
See you
rest of
guys.
the evening. I will see you next week.
All right.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
So here's we got Pittsburgh, Minnesota. I guess he's going Minnesota. That's a tough one. What's the round? Let's do a quick round table. Pittsburgh, Minnesota. Where are we going?
Oh, man. I'm going
Minnesota.
What do you think?
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Rick.
Tim's mic is off. Does he know that?
Tim's. Oh, Tim.
I think his mic is off. I can't hear him. I'm going with Minnesota.
Tim, there you are. Tim, what? Tim, let's get a little on your Arizona team. Anything going on with them? I think they're a solid team.
Yeah, that.
It's like talking to Tim on the space shuttle.
That's a good one. By the way, Todd, you got a good. I think you're channeling Brett Musburger right now. You got a good Musburger look going. I think it's the glasses.
100%.
You know,
100%, right?
I'll give you a little story. I was doing this was like 1997, 98.
Yeah.
I was doing the Pro Bowl for ABC in Hawaii, and we're sitting, and it's during the game, and I'm doing the graphics on the game, and there's the guy, I'm working with that's with ABC. And I know it was a commercial, whatever, but the phone rings. I pick it up.
Yeah.
I go, hello. He goes, this is Al Michaels. I
that's
go, oh, and he's doing the game. He's announcing. He's like, is Chris there?
Yeah.
The guy who was working with. All he was interested in was his car going to be ready after the game? And the game's going on, but he wanted to get out of there. And it's just funny that he calls in the middle of the game. He's in the booth. We're in the truck. And so, it's just an announcer aside with Brent Musburger. And he's been around a long time, Musburger, hasn't he?
Yeah, and he does the Raiders play-by-play now.
He does?
Yeah. And he's still good.
Oh, he's got
He's
it.
still good.
You know
what he says when he says when they score? He came up with his own slogan. He goes, jackpot, baby, instead of touchdown, which is pretty good, I think.
Right.
He calls it a jackpot. I like it.
Especially being in Vegas.
Yeah, it's perfect. But that's our next game. The Raiders in Kansas City I think it's on the sheet. I'm going with Minnesota in that game. I'm scared, but I'm going to go with Minnesota. Scared.
You go with Minnesota on that.
Scared
against
barely.
Let's see who we got here. Minnesota. Oh yeah, we talked about that game.
Yeah,
Wait,
Pittsburgh. Thursday night.
Right. Oh, you're going with Minnesota.
Yeah, how about you?
I think I'm going to go with Pittsburgh on that one. I think Steelers. I don't like either team. I just thought the Vikings play calling was so bad. But you know what? Here's the thing. Now I'm looking at it. The Steelers scored 20, 10, and they scored 37 and lost, but they tied Detroit 16. Minnesota. Let's see. They score a lot of points. 27 in a loss, 26 in a loss, 34 in a win, 27. Minnesota just by points could be. Maybe they're the right. Maybe they're.
Yeah. That's what I'm taking them. I think they can outscore Pittsburgh.
And 3 games on the road. 4 of the last 5 on the road, they've averaged like 28 points. So maybe you know what? I might change my because I got another pool I'm in, a money pool. So I may change my. I may change my pick on that one. So, all right, let's see what else we got. We got, we talked Chicago, Green Bay. That's a nothing. Rams, Arizona. We'll finish off with that one. That'll be our last game. It's funny because some of these games, when it's in a pool, you have to pick something. So, Jacksonville, Tennessee on that. Vegas going to say New Orleans and the Jets.
Yeah.
It's not an important game, but it's a pool game. So.
All right.
What's thoughts on that one?
Send them to London.
That's a London game. That's
that
a
a
London
London
game.
I just can't take the Jets.
That's so bad. New Orleans 0-5, last 5-game losing streak.
Yeah,
And,
they'll beat the Jets.
Yeah,
Jets
I think
are so.
I'll go
Sean
Minnesota.
Payton will get it together.
Yeah,
But New Orleans,
I
what are
agree.
they on their 7th string quarterback? What
No,
are
they
they
got
now?
Taysom Hill. He's
Yeah,
serviceable in this
Okay.
against the
There we
Jets.
go.
They won't be
Yeah.
able to tackle.
Yeah.
He'll have 100 yards running.
No, okay. So
Drew-
let's see. So
Playing
let's
well,
finish
there
it
was a
off with
crazy
Rams and
rumor
you know what I want to do? I
that
want to do a Denver, Detroit.
USC,
Wait, not a Denver,
Who's
Detroit.
talking?
Tampa, Cliff
You hear that
Kingsbury,
underneath us?
coach. And
I
it's,
think there's a delay happening with Tim. I think there's a massive.
why would you want to kick? Why would you want to go? Why would you want to go back?
Yeah.
You might be
I don't
right.
know. Tim's got his audio on. Tim, you got like double audio going, I think.
Yeah.
Wait, we got
Yeah.
one more with Casey. What did we throw? Casey, we showed Washington. We showed Seattle. We didn't show the Denver, right?
Yeah, the Seattle game. That's the one.
Oh, the Seattle game. All right, let's.
It's the space shuttle talking.
What is going on with
It's
Tim
the
over there,
space
buddy?
shuttle going. That is a good one.
Indian over there. All right, let's see. We got Seattle.
The dysfunctional roller coaster that is the Seattle Seahawks this season was on full display against the 49ers. In the second quarter, Pete Carroll had to call a timeout to avoid a delay of game penalty. Coming out of that timeout, what happened? They got a delay of game penalty.
God.
And then on the ensuing play,
Was it?
Russell
yeah.
Wilson drops back,
Yeah.
throws
Yeah.
a bomb,
He's the big
DK
and he's
Metcalf
tied into
catches it
some
at the
sports-
5-yard line, and
sports
they go
app,
in and
isn't he?
score.
Yeah, it's tied into some
What is
sports
to
app.
become of this team next year? Will Pete Carroll be back? Will Russell Wilson be back? And will DK Metcalf look to get out of there? He always seems frustrated. It's a question that I think is going to be very intriguing in the offseason.
So Seattle's playing Houston at Houston. Does that even matter where they're playing them?
No.
No.
You say Houston, I'm like, oh, they're still in the league? I mean, literally, I have such little recognition of Houston right now.
That would make it.
That's one of my picks that I'm going to go on money picks. I'm going to take Seattle.
Yeah.
I'm going to go under. I'm not going to actually take a side. I just don't see a high scoring game. I don't think Houston could get past 10 points.
Well, to support your under, Houston, 6 games this season with less than 10 points and 2 shutouts. Twice.
Yeah, and coming
Bad team.
13, a 14, a 0 against the Colts last week. I see this like a 23-7, 23-10, maybe even 26-10. I don't see it. The over-under is 41.5. It's pretty low. So Vegas is not giving you much room for a mistake here. Any kind of scoop turnover, you're going to lose that bet. But,
I think Roethlisberger is done.
Pittsburgh with Minnesota. We got a comment, a Brett Musburger comment. So it was a friend of mine, and he's typing, and he starts telling something is misspelled. And I'm wondering if Albert spelled it wrong. Did you spell it wrong? So he spelled Brett Musburger. And Dan Fouts is looking at him. And Dan Fouts is a big dude. So there we go. So we got to find out.
So
hopefully we'll get an answer.
Under 42 for the Seattle game.
Oh, that's the over under. Oh, that's
an
that's
under,
like
right?
I could go flying to Las Vegas for that one.
I know, right? I feel like even if it's 26-13, that's only 39 points. So
Right.
I just don't see how Houston gets past 13. It's a matter of how many points that Seattle can score. If Seattle kicks their ass and puts up 30, then that's going to blow that up. But
And is
we got a late arrival.
Jets. Is it
We
Mike
got
White?
Mr. Rasmus. We got a late arrival. How's it
Hi,
going?
folks. Hey, thanks so much. Yeah, today has been a busy day, but I'm just glad I could hop on for this last tail end. Yeah, I've been listening, and I couldn't agree more. Like, I'm even surprised Houston is still
overall. Overall,
Yeah.
You look at the Saints defense and the few things they have on offense. It's a better. Yeah.
I got to tell you, Tim is like Peanut, the ventriloquist going on. We see words and no mouth moving, and he's like the ventriloquist from space, from the space shuttle. Tim, I don't know how you do it there, bud, but
he's making comments, and it's like 4 minutes ago. Then you'll hear and Roethlisberger. I'm like, wait a minute, how do you do that?
Right. Yeah. You know, I'm expecting a hand to come out from behind his head.
Yeah, it is good.
Right. Mackenzie, what do you got? You got anything good for us this week?
A slow computer.
Sorry. Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, speaking of being slow, my Vikings, they just...
Wait a second. Well, Tim, what are you on, like an old compact, COMPAQ? Is that what you got working on over there?
Yeah.
Remember that? All right, Mackenzie, go ahead. I'm sorry about that.
Well, no, I was just saying Tim's computer might actually be older than me. You know, it's just, I'm just worried here about the connection. But yeah, today is
he's got a green screen. Let's put it that way, with white letters.
Today's and this week is just I'm almost didn't show up on the show. I was hoping everyone would be gone because as a Vikings fan, it's just really hard to show my face around nowadays. I'm honestly surprised that Zimmer still has a job, but maybe because we play tomorrow. That
is he the coach?
He is Mike Zimmer. Yeah,
horrible play calling. I don't know if you heard me talk.
He's terrible.
A horrible play.
He's
Him
terrible.
and the offensive coordinator should be cut.
I agree.
Zimmer would have been good in 1974.
Mm-hmm.
He's terrible. The game has passed that guy up. I do not like him.
He's a defensive coordinator.
Yeah,
he's not even anymore. I think he's done.
I mean, we'll see. We see a lot of times, coaches go on to have, coordinator roles. I mean, you look at Jason Garrett's and so on, that you find people that they have a life after they moved on. But I think they need to move on at this point. I've had a lot of patience for Zimmer. I have been a Zimmer defender for the longest time. But the fact that we lose to a winless Lions, and it wasn't even this season has been tough, right? We've had so many games that we just have lost by a missing field goal or, an overtime score. So we've had lots of close games. There's only been one game, the Seattle game, that wasn't by one score. So it's been a tough season, but just the way that you play, your clock management, everything has gone wrong. And at this point, you have no excuse and you got to be out.
Yeah. Yeah. So Minnesota versus Pittsburgh. What's your prediction for the week?
What's my heart say or what's my brain say? My
say.
heart. I would say so. Look, if there's any team that we could maybe beat, I also think Pittsburgh, because they have a tree for a quarterback, and we could potentially really have a heavy pass rush and get to Roethlisberger a couple times. But I have no faith in our coordination, in our game plan, especially with it being a short week. It was so demoralizing losing to the Lions in the way that we did. So, the short week, I don't think that it's necessarily a given that we're going to win. We're a better team on paper. But, I could see this being the Thursday night games have been pretty good, though. Probably like a 21-17, and we're going to keep it close. I know that, but I don't think it's necessarily going to be a high-scoring game.
Right. So let's move to our last game. It is the Rams versus Monday Night Football. It's a good Monday Night Football game, and too bad Tim is gone because it would have been good to get his take on this one. Rams, Arizona, at Arizona. So this is kind of a tough game, but, the Rams, let's see, they started strong. and they went 7-1, and they're 1-3 in the last 4. So, what does that say? And the Cardinals, Murray's back, and the Cardinals, and they're at home, and they could be the strongest team in the league this year. The Cardinals and Green Bay. So, I'm going with Arizona on this. Casey, what do you think?
I'm going with Arizona as well. But the only thing the Rams, I think, have going for them is if their defense shows up, because it has not gelled as of yet. That is their calling card in the last few weeks should have been their defense, and it hasn't been. And Matthew Stafford just perplexes me. He in the big moments, he doesn't make the throws. He comes up small. And I thought, okay, second chance, good market, great weapons. And the last thing would be, without Robert Woods, I mean, it really has shown what value Robert Woods was. Because Cooper Kupp is doing great, but other than that, the receiving core just isn't the same without Robert Woods there.
I will say last week was kind of a get-right game for the Rams. They went 0-3 in November, and so what a gift it was from Santa, early Christmas gift from Santa, to be able to play Jacksonville. Last week, they were able to put up the points pretty significantly. They spread the ball around. Van Jefferson got a score. OBJ got his first score at home. So we'll see if this gamble turns out to come to fruition. I mean, they transferred they sold their whole future away. Their picks, they don't have another draft pick till like 2035. So they now have to utilize this talent that they've acquired and make a run for it. They're going to have a tough challenge.
Where will the Raiders' home city be in that year? Because they change like every.
At this point, it might be Minnesota. The Vikings may have just moved on.
I'm going to say Las Vegas. That stadium they built for them, they're not moving anytime soon. I'm going to buck the trend here. I'm going to go with the Rams.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Rams. I think they're going to show up, and I think it's time for them to show up, and I think they're going to beat them. And I think I understand where people are coming from, but I'm going to give OBJ.
That's your upset of the week.
I wouldn't say it's an upset of the week. I mean, they are underdogs. They're not a bad team. I just think they're going to be ready for this game.
All right, so we got Rick's picks is picking the Rams over the Cardinals, and then he's got Seattle under 42. I'm with that one, and he's got the Ravens plus 2.5 at Cleveland.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
That's a tough game.
It is, but I don't believe in Cleveland. I think Baker's hurt. He sucks. He's easy to sack. He crumbles in the pocket. He gets way too many points for Moxie. Moxie doesn't win games. I've seen enough of Cleveland. I could be wrong. I just think Baltimore's better coached, and I like Baltimore here. I do. I like Baltimore to
and
play.
Cleveland. They had a bye week and they lost to Baltimore at Baltimore, only 16-10. So
and Baltimore's not playing well. So I'm going. I'm going out on a limb. And the fact that I was 3 for 3 last week makes me a little nervous taking Baltimore here. But I'm going.
Don't change.
Here's how you do it. Nobody really knows who's going to win that game, so I might as well take the points. That's how I'm looking at it.
Right.
And my quote of the week is from Rick now. Moxie doesn't win games. I like that.
Right.
I just came out. I was kind of. Thank you. Yeah, you can use it. Go ahead.
Oh, I will steal it. There's no doubt.
You can use it. It doesn't win games. I know you're going to use it in one of those stand-ups that you do that are really good, by the way. You nail a lot of good points. There's a lot of good information in there.
I'll credit you, hon. Yes. Definitely, I will credit you.
Okay. Thank you.
And so here I'm going to put this one up for my slaughter game of the week. Packers over the Bears. On straight up. How
about in Vegas? Will you lay the 12.5? I think I would.
I don't know. The Packers don't seem to cover spreads well. I got to tell you, I'm looking at their games, and they beat the Rams by 8. They lost to Minnesota. Well, they killed Seattle by 17. They lost to Kansas City by 6. They beat Arizona by 3. They beat the Skins by 14. The Bears by 10. So they played the Bears once.
Todd, just so you know, They're 10-2 against the spread this year.
They are?
And, yeah.
Oh, so
and
their spreads maybe weren't that big then.
yeah, they're 10-2 against the spread and 5-0 at home covering the spread. So
you know what then I'd like to look at? I'd like to look at spreads. How many spreads have they covered? Like the two that they lost, were they over a certain amount of points in the spread? Like was it plus 8 or giving
they
8?
probably didn't cover. Yeah, I think it was that. I think it was that. But
like to go into that next level of analysis, which spreads did they cover? Which spreads didn't they cover?
And
you know what
if
I mean?
you guys remember, Aaron Rodgers, he owns that team, right? Isn't that what he said? He owns.
Yeah, minority ownership.
He owns them,
but
and he's at home. I think they. Well, I don't know. Chicago 1-6 against the spread, and
the only thing is Rodgers got the broken toe. The toe is the main toe, the big toe. I think it's his big toe.
I thought it was the other side. I thought it was his little toe.
Oh, was it?
Right, Casey. I think it's a pinky toe. Yeah, I believe Casey's
so.
right.
Oh, that's a useless toe. You can cut that off, right?
And you could shoot it with whatever they shoot it with before the game. And, I'd rather have a useless pinky toe than a hurt pinky finger like, the kid from the Bengals was dealing with.
Right, right. That's tough.
The one thing that I will also mention as the resident NFC North person, I think, in the room is how much people want to beat the Packers. The Bears could be, winless for the whole season, and they will bring an extra chutzpah to the game. Everyone wants to beat the Packers, and everyone wants to sack Rodgers, more importantly, on that defense. So, I'm not doubting it. I definitely would take the Packers. Unfortunately, it hurts my heart to even say that, but, on paper, this looks like this is going to be a slaughter of a game. But don't underestimate the NFC North hatred of the Packers. Everybody wants.
I just think Chicago is so bad. They're like so bad. Andy Dalton is like he just you don't know where he's going to throw the ball, and he's like doing a jig on the sidelines. He doesn't care, and he collects his check and that's it. I just and the Green Bay Packers I think have one of the best offensive lines. So against the Bears,
and they have a terrible coach, the Bears, right? Like I think everyone knows Nagy. He's going to get fired.
Yeah.
So I think the players are like maybe sooner than later. I get what you're saying though. I mean, but I don't know. This kind of feels like the Bears just don't have any oomph. Like, I mean, the running backs, had a good game last week. Montgomery, but can you really ride Montgomery against the Packers to a win?
No, I don't think they have it. So, okay, well, guys and girls, thank you very much for being here, and it was a wonderful show tonight. And next week is going to be we're going to find out. We'll review. This is the first week of the pool, and maybe if things get going good, we'll have hats we can give away.
Hey,
with the little glutton guy up there, he's our little logo. We love that little
good.
sports glutton. And it's got his ice skate on his back. And all righty, so I'll see you guys next week, maybe, and have a good week. Rick's Picks, I hope they all come out for you. Mackenzie, thank you. Casey, thank you for your contributions. Love your videos, and it was fun. So we will thank everybody for coming and joining, and for the chats and the comments, and we love it. And this could be seen on YouTube. We're going to put more on Roku and Amazon Fire on a special channel that we have. So we hope to see you all next week. Have a good, if you make your picks, and that's it. Have a good week, folks.